Hello everybody, Games Later. Today we are reacting to, it's a special video today, it's a special video, reaction video, special video. Thank you for voting, and you did 2 votes. Thank you for the 2 votes, because one was this video and the hoax. So I'm doing a hoax like Saturday, then I can make the video part of it. So we're just watching this. This is a special video for My Story Animated. 2 boys, 1 heart. It's about 2 boys and 1 heart came up with it, but you don't know anything about it. Just trying to figure out where my microphone is at so I can talk to you a little bit more closer as I used to. I'm just fixing my microphone. Just give me real quick, because I'm fixing my microphone. I'm just fixing my microphone. Just don't worry about it, because I'm fixing my microphone. So let's watch it, and I'll tell you anything. But I need to get to the camera, so I'm turning down that. But we're just making it. Let's watch the video.
Little Natalie's tummy couldn't stop growling. She had been hungry the whole afternoon, but it was evening now and her mom wasn't home yet.
What?
Those rich people should stop making my mom work so much. I wish we'd never moved from France. Mom didn't have to work so hard there like she does here.
Wow.
As she walked outside, she heard loud music coming from the biggest mansion in the whole
Wow.
Her tummy told her to go there, and she found out there was a large party happening in the garden. Natalie started drooling when she saw the huge feast.
Wow.
She tried to sneak in, but a group of women blocked her.
Oh.
Where do you think you're going, little girl? I'm hungry. Can I have some meat, please? And a glass of juice, too? Just look at her dirty clothes and hands. Disgusting. You're not welcome here, child. Be off with you. Natalie was so mad at their meanness. Just as she turned to leave, she noticed a young boy around her age hiding in the bushes, and he looked furious. He was staring at a maid who was being scolded by the lady of the mansion, Mrs. Harrison. How can you serve these fruits in a stupid basket? We have an expensive tray for this. Another mistake, and you're fired. Mr. Harrison was trying to calm his wife down when their daughter Harper, who was the same age as Natalie, was making things worse. I don't have the mood to eat those fruits anymore, Mom. That woman ruined my night. Natalie felt so bad for the humiliated maid. She joined the boy in the bushes. I hate these people. Me too. And that's my mom they're yelling at. They don't deserve all this delicious food. I have to teach them a lesson. Wait, are you gonna do something bad? Mom said you shouldn't do bad things no matter what. But he just ignored her and dragged a bag of manure lying close by.
Wow.
And overlooked the garden. But moments later, the branch under him cracked, and he went tumbling down straight onto the food table, spreading cow poop everywhere. Everyone screamed, and Mrs. Harrison looked ready to explode. She yelled for security, and Natalie thought she had to do something to save her friend. And with that, she ran towards the nearest barn, rode on a young horse, and made it run around the garden, completely ruining the party. You little rascals! Natalie grabbed the boy's hand and they fled the scene. I can't believe you just did that! You're so cool! Natalie's tummy suddenly let out another growl. He chuckled and took out an apple from his pocket. For you! Make it 2, 'cause I saved your butt. I'll get you another one soon, promise. What's your name? Natalie. And you? Caleb. Nice to meet you, Natalie.
Wow, Caleb.
Friends? Okay. And since then, Caleb and Natalie became best friends.
Nice.
Growing up, they shared their love for food and their hate for rich and mean people.
Wow.
Especially for people like the Harrisons. Caleb was 11 years old when
That's
he
true.
met a guy, Mr. Cross, a gardener for the Harrisons.
Wow.
His mom said that from now on, Mr. Cross would be taking care of them. Hello, Caleb. Your mom told me you like apples. And reading? Not long after, Mr. Cross and Caleb's mom got married.
Wow.
He became the hero in Caleb's
Nice.
life. He was so amazed by his stepdad, how smart and strong he was, and how good he was to both him and his mom. When I grow up, I want to be just like you, Dad. I'm sure you'll be better than me, and every wealthy man in this land, my child. He would help Caleb understand his math homework,
Wow.
give him tips on how to build it up.
Nice.
And he also gave him really good life
Nice.
lessons. My dad told me something.
Oh.
I want to share it with you too, because you're my best friend. Really? Tell me. He said, sometimes we need to stand up for ourselves and fight back, whatever it takes. Yes, we fight back the right way. Mom said we shouldn't do bad things no matter what. I know, you told me. But is it bad to defend ourselves? Do we just let other people do bad things to us and say nothing? You always speak about how unfair the system is in this town for poor people. Yeah, I do think that. Like, if someone hurts you, I'll hurt them too. Natalie was surprised by how firmly Caleb said it. Suddenly, as she changed her position, she lost her balance and fell. Caleb laughed and helped her up. Now, I don't know how to hurt the fence or the ground, but Caleb then kicked the fence and stomped his foot on the ground. Natalie found it funny. She liked the thought of Caleb as her protector and felt really lucky to have a best friend like him. And over the years, she grew to like him as much more, but she was too scared to admit it. Too scared to ruin their friendship.
Wow.
One day in high school, she decided to cook his favorite food and surprise him at lunch.
Wow.
Her heart ached with jealousy when she saw him laughing with some girls in the canteen.
Jeez.
She was leaving when Caleb called her name and walked up to her. Is that for me? Before she could reply,
melt into your holiday.
Yeah, is that me?
From the lips.
Dang, you really offered that one, Caleb.
Stay signed in for next time. It's the ease and
Yeah,
delight of shopping.
you're gonna want to ask with me anyway, so it doesn't matter.
is that for me? Before she could reply, the girls jumped in and glared at Natalie.
Wow.
Why are you friends with that dumbhead, Caleb? Same question. Handsome boys like you should hang out with pretty girls like us. Suddenly, Caleb wrapped his arm around Natalie's shoulder. My girlfriend is not a dumbhead. She's the smartest, coolest, and most beautiful girl I've ever known. So please, stop talking rubbish about her. Girlfriend? As the humiliated girls left, Natalie turned to him. Why did you tell them that nonsense? Those girls are gonna hate me forever. Are you mad? Yes, I'm mad because you lied. We're not dating. We're just friends. Fine, I'm sorry. But what if I wanted to be more than that? What do you mean? Can I hold your hand? No. I love you, Natalie. I've loved you since we were kids. Do you love me too? Caleb's sincere gaze made her melt. Yes, I think I feel the same way. Caleb started to lean in closer, and when their lips finally touched, she felt like she was on cloud 9.
Wow.
After that, the best friends became lovers, and Natalie was really happy with Caleb as his girlfriend. But over time, things started to get complicated. His mom fell really sick. Stepdad's earnings weren't enough for her medicine, so Caleb was forced to take more part-time jobs around the farm. He hardly had any time to spend with Natalie anymore. Meanwhile, that night at the Harrisons, the family was having their usual dinner. Mr. Harrison was talking about the progress of their business, while Mrs. Harrison was being pushy towards their son to date someone. I don't understand the rush. I'm so young, I'll have plenty of time later on. You have plenty of time now. I don't, Mom. I'd rather focus on school than date. Love is nothing but a stupid distraction. All work and no play makes people really dull, darling. Remember Sheila? Benjamin's daughter. I think she's a nice girl. Mom, I don't like her. She's weirdly obsessed with me. Dude, she cares about you. Let him be for now. Don't push him so hard. He'll eventually find someone.
True.
But Sheila might not be around till he decides he's ready. And I think she would be so good for him. She's a smart young woman. They're perfect for each other. I have no interest in wasting my time on girls right now. Oh, brother, how about boys?
You know what Duke really remind me of? Duke remind me of you know what Duke remind me of? Duke remind me of Sasuke from Naruto. Can you really compare those two? Yeah, compare these two. Show me a screenshot. Show me a screenshot, because that's what really remind me of something.
Do you want to share something? Shut up, Harper. Well, Sheila and her parents are visiting us soon, and you will spend time with her so you can get to know each other.
Oh, wow.
Who knows? Maybe it will end in a wedding. Hearing that, Duke suddenly felt the urge to lie. I'm sorry, Mom, but I already have a girlfriend. What? I said, I'm not dating Sheila because I already have a girlfriend. Since when do you have a girlfriend? Since 6 months ago, but we kept it a secret. I don't want people in my business. Duke left the table and decided to take a walk in the gardens to cool off. Suddenly, he heard someone behind him and turned around to see it was just Mr. Cross.
Oh, sorry, Master Duke. I didn't mean to disturb your walk. You look a little upset. I'm not. It's really nothing. Just sometimes parents can be too much. Do you have kids, Mr. Cross? A son, the same age as you. Maybe I'll introduce you sometime.
Duke was feeling too preoccupied, so he just smiled at their gardener and walked off. That weekend, Natalie's mom caught a serious flu. So later that day, she went to town with Caleb to buy some medicine. While they were in the pharmacy, his stepdad called him.
I need to stop by a dad's friend's place to pick up a package. Wait for me in the town square. I'll be right back.
Natalie bought the medicines and sat on a bench in the town square. Her favorite thing in that old place was the old horse statue in the center. They're such gorgeous and magical creatures. Just then, she noticed that its red eye patch was lying on the ground. She picked it up, and as she placed it back on, the statue suddenly wobbled. She tried to make it steady, but it just suddenly toppled to one side and broke into pieces. Holy mighty horsey! Natalie stared at the sight in complete shock. The townspeople quickly gathered around, and they went berserk.
How could you be so reckless and ruin the pride of our town?
Isn't it bad enough that we have to live with a foreigner who badmouths our town and its systems? And now you've ruined our cultural legacy! Some of them even started crying, and Natalie felt panic.
Wow.
She tried to contact Caleb, but her phone's battery was actually...
Oh, wow.
I swear, I didn't do anything. It was already unsteady. Please, forgive me. But the townspeople were blazing mad. The police came, and as they were questioning her, everyone suddenly became silent as they made the way for someone. Natalie lifted her head and met someone's eyes. Duke, the oldest child of the Harrisons.
What's going on here? This girl just caused serious damage to a public property, and we need her to come with us to the station.
Duke just nodded at them, and soon, Natalie found herself sitting in a police station. Please, officer, just let me go home first. My mom is sick, and she must be really worried. But the officer just ignored her.
Wow.
Minutes later, Duke came out of the main office.
You're free to go. I've taken care of everything.
Huh? What do you mean?
I paid $50,000 for the fine and damages, so you won't go to prison.
What? Why are you doing this? You don't even know me.
Because I need you.
What? What do you mean? Duke then dragged her outside the station to talk.
Listen, I need you to work for me as my fake girlfriend for a month, and I'm gonna pay you for it.
I'm sorry, but can you repeat what you just said? I'm not sure if I heard it right.
I think you did. You don't look like you have any hearing problems.
Is that how you joke? Because it's super lame. Even hyenas won't laugh at it.
Damn.
Look like a clown to you?
How can you offer me a
Discover bet
Just accept it.
and leap into a world filled with
Well, you can just accept it if you can.
first deposit match up to $1,000.
I should tell everyone, like, you gotta ask my great girlfriend for a month.
Do I look like a clown to you?
How can you offer me a ridiculous job when you don't even know if I have a boyfriend or not?
Look, I don't care whether you're single or whatever.
Damn.
I'm not interested. I just need you to pretend to be my girlfriend and convince everyone that we're in love, especially my family.
But why would you need a fake girlfriend anyway? You can just have a real one. Just choose any girl but me. You rich people are used to getting whatever you want anyway.
I asked you to be my fake girlfriend, not to become an interviewer. In private, we'll be practically strangers minding each other's business. I can prepare a contract tomorrow.
What makes you think I'll accept your offer? I don't want this weird job. Don't worry, I'll think about another way of repaying you.
There is no other way. Accept my job, or return my money immediately. It should be the exact amount that I spent to save your sorry little butt.
Natalie wanted to yell at him for blackmailing her, but she knew she couldn't pay him back. Let me think about it.
I don't have much time. I'll give you a day. Let's meet at the cafe tomorrow, same time as this.
Before Natalie could say anything more, he turned around and left. When she got home, she found Caleb's messages saying that he'd be staying at his stepdad's friend's house for the night. Natalie really needed to talk to him, but she was also worried about how he would react. She also didn't want to tell her mom about this yet and stress her out. So later that night, she went to her favorite spot on the farm to think it over alone. Suddenly, Caleb appeared beside her.
Hey, what are you doing here?
Wait,
Nat, are you crying? Tell me what's wrong.
She didn't have a choice but to tell him everything.
Are you serious? You shouldn't have let him help you.
He took care of it himself, and I could never pay $50,000 on my own.
But of all the girls, why does he want you? This is stupid. I thought Harper was evil. I didn't expect that her brother would be worse.
Look, if he didn't help me, I'd be cold and miserable in jail right now.
But he obviously helped you just to force you into this stupid job.
What am I gonna do? He left me with no choice.
Seeing my girlfriend dating another guy is torture, Nat. It doesn't matter if it's fake or not.
Caleb got up and furiously kicked some rocks. Okay, fine. I won't do it. I'll have to think of another solution then. As Natalie's tears poured, Caleb sighed and sat down.
Okay, I'm sorry. Don't cry, please. Let's talk this over. You'll just be acting, and it's only for a month, right? And are you sure he's paying you a huge amount for it?
Yes, I'll just be a fake girlfriend. I'll never fall in love with that jerk, ever.
Okay, I'll agree to it, but on one condition.
What is it?
Oh, wow. So let's go part 2. We're doing 3 parts. We're just going to do 3 parts. So this is episode 2. But it's going to be a lot of ads. But it'll be a lot of ads, so there's nothing you can do. Now we can just... We're just going to do part 1.
Furiously kicked some rocks. So fine, I won't do it. I'll think of another solution then. As Natalie's tears dropped, Caleb sighed and sat down.
Okay, I'm sorry. Don't cry, please. Let's talk this over. You'll just be acting, and it's only for a month, right? And are you sure he's paying you a huge amount for it?
Yes, I'll just be a fake girlfriend. I'll never fall in love with that jerk, ever.
Okay, fine. I'll agree on it now, but on one condition.
What is it?
There should be no touching.
Natalie was surprised at how jealous Caleb could be. But he wants me to convince everyone that we're really dating. How can we do that if we can't even hold hands?
I just realized that I sounded ridiculous. Never mind.
It won't mean anything, Caleb, I swear. And I'll give you a part of the payment for your mom's expensive treatments.
Nat, no. You're the one who'll work for this, not me.
We promised to protect and help each other, remember? Just support me on this for a month, and we'll get you some money for your mom.
I support you, of course. You're mine, okay?
Always. Natalie was nervous to meet Duke the next day. He was already at the cafe when she arrived.
You're 7 minutes late. Now, first order of business, I need you to transfer to my school.
What? Is that necessary for a month's job?
Yes, it is. Don't worry, I can easily transfer you back and forth. My family has all the connections.
Oh, yes. Your family rules this place. How can I forget that?
Here's the contract. Read it and sign below.
The contract was short and simple. It was valid for a month, but could be extended if needed. And if she'd break it, she would have to pay back Duke's $50,000 debt. This jerk has pulled a checkmate on me, and there's no backing out now. But I'm not gonna make it easy for him. He'll wish he wasn't stuck with me as his girlfriend. On her first day of work, she was awestruck at Duke's school was, and everyone was wearing clothes that looked more expensive than 1,000 cows. As she was walking towards the main building, a fancy sports car suddenly dashed into the parking lot. Natalie's jaw dropped as the driver stepped out. It was Duke, and he looked dashing. Girls started to surround him, but to everyone's surprise, Duke walked up to Natalie and put his arm around her.
There you are. Did you sleep well last night?
I didn't, because I couldn't stop thinking.
Can you stop being so adorable for a second? It's killing me. Dude, who's that? This is Natalie, my girlfriend.
In one corner, Duke's sister Harper was fuming. Of all the girls in the world, he chose her? I've seen that dumb peasant a few times on the farm.
Wow.
How can Duke be so stupid?
On their way to class, Natalie suddenly pulled Duke to a corner.
Why did you kiss me? What are you doing?
Making things convincing? Have you read the contract that you signed? Holding hands and kisses on foreheads and cheeks are allowed.
Natalie didn't take that part seriously.
You didn't get that
She
one?
wanted to ask more questions, but she remembered the rules in the contract. Don't ask personal things.
Yeah.
Later that day, while she was putting things in her locker, Harper and her friends appeared behind her. Is it just me, or does it smell like mud in here? It definitely smells like dirt.
Wow.
Girl, I didn't see you there. I'm sure you saw me, Harper. Don't get smart with me, farm girl. Just because you're my brother's girlfriend doesn't mean I need to be nice to you. But you could be nice to me just out of basic human decency, right? Or are you unfamiliar with that? Natalie started to walk away, but Harper got mad and pulled her hair. You little...
What's going on here?
Tell your tacky girlfriend to behave herself. And why are you dating her anyway? Did you just pick the first girl you saw on the farm or something?
Mind that mouth, Harper. And what's wrong with her? She's literally perfect.
You could have chosen anyone, Duke. She's nothing like us.
I'd rather not spend my time listening to someone who talks about bags and 10 different shades of pink all day.
Damn.
It's so much more interesting.
Wow, he's a really good actor. But God, I'm being humiliated here. I will make sure that this Duke regrets this decision. Duke then warned everyone to be good to Natalie
Oh.
and her friends, and they had no choice.
Oh, you know what I guessed? I was right the whole time. I was right the whole time. I was right the whole time. You see the eyes he had before? I knew it. I knew he was like Sasuke from somewhere. I knew he looked like Sasuke. I knew it. I knew he was like I knew he looked like Sasuke. I knew it the whole time. I knew it.
But to obey the king of their school. The next day, Natalie prepared embarrassing couple shirts for both of them and gave it to him during their basketball practice. Happy 200th day, my baby king! Everyone started laughing, and she thought Duke would be really annoyed.
Oh, now I get it. It's because you literally worship me. I like the shirt, babe.
Yeah, okay. So, let's wear the shirts now? Suddenly, Duke accidentally tripped and spilled his bottle of juice over the shirts.
Oh, no. Too bad they've become dirty. Maybe next time, but I appreciate the gesture.
Natalie felt mad.
Damn.
Her plan of embarrassing him had completely backfired. Maybe she needed to try harder. So later that day in the canteen, she just stared at him intensely. I can't believe I'm dating the most handsome man in the universe. Just look at his eyelashes. They have the perfect length and curl. And don't even get me started with his beautiful nostril hair. Natalie didn't care if everyone thought she was an obsessed girlfriend.
Wow.
As long as she was pissing Duke.
Stay signed in.
He's still pissed.
The ease and
Yeah, Duke like pissed. Like,
get even better.
this girl.
Natalie didn't care if everyone thought she was an obsessed girlfriend, as long as she was pissing Duke off. Duke is very private, so any exclusive info? Oh, he's a screamer, especially around 8-legged living things.
What?
Don't
What?
be Dukey. We all have our fears, right?
Actually, I have a collection of spiders at home. See? Sorry, guys. She really loves to joke around sometimes. That happens when she forgets to drink her meds. You know, for her crazy problem.
Natalie kicked his foot under the table. Just crazy, you baby king. But she really went overboard a few minutes later when Duke was part of a school play. He was playing the role of a prince, and just when he was about to kiss his princess, Natalie screamed from the audience, "My baby king, please, don't kiss the witch! Your lips only belong to me!" Everybody stared at her in shock, including Duke. He tried to resume his acting, but forgot his lines and became embarrassed. He then turned to leave and tripped over something that sent the whole set crashing down on the princess. Oops. And right after, Duke came marching to her angrily.
What do you think you're doing? Who asked you to act like some crazy melodramatic girlfriend? You just embarrassed me in front of everybody. We've been working on this play for months, and you ruined it. What is wrong with you?
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't think I'd have such a strong effect on you that you'd forget your acting. I was just trying to be convincing, like you said.
Don't play these stupid games with me, Natalie. You know what you're trying to do, and it's not gonna work. You agreed to be my girlfriend, and unless you have $50,000 suddenly, you'll act like a normal girlfriend or you'll go to jail. And trust me, I won't feel bad about your poor butt rotting in there for a second. You better behave. I don't need people to think I'm dating an obsessed psycho.
Fine, I got it. Can you let my arm go now? He did, and she pushed him away as she left. Duke was still really mad at Natalie when he got home, but he started feeling bad for the way he'd spoken to her. And to make matters worse, he instantly had his mom breathing down his neck.
Where's this girlfriend you've been telling us about?
It's been a week. Invite her for dinner tomorrow. Duke knew he and Natalie needed to bond more so things would be more natural between them, or his mom would be able to tell in a second that it was fake. He convinced his mom to give him another week and spoke to Natalie the next day.
Listen, I'm sorry for the way I spoke to you. I was just disappointed about the play, and I've got some things on my mind. But it's not a great excuse for my behavior. I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay.
Just don't talk to me that way again, and we're cool. I won't, I promise. But we need to meet up after school today, so you can get to know me and my whereabouts better. Mom wants to meet you soon, and she can ask you anything. Over the next 3 days, Natalie memorized Duke's schedule. He was taking acting classes after school, and on weekends he was managing an orphanage in town. One day, as he was driving her home, Natalie found herself talking casually to him. Duke, do you mean to pursue acting professionally? I thought you'd just take over the family business. Yeah, acting is my dream. I'd love to be able to do that freely, but Mom wants me to build malls on farmlands, and I don't really want to do that. I'd like to be able to help farmers become more productive so they can have better lives, not take away their lands and leave them jobless. The more Natalie spent time with Duke, the more she realized that he actually had a heart of gold. She felt bad for judging him and making things difficult for him. Since then, she had become genuinely comfortable with him. He was just so good at acting, and there were times when she'd forget that it wasn't real. In school, he'd hold her hand, kiss her head, stare at her lovingly, and Caleb had never been this openly affectionate, except for a funny feeling in her tummy. One day, he even took her to a secret place, an abandoned house that he planned to renovate and give to one of the farmers someday on his retirement. Those weird feelings started bothering her. No, I'm just amazed at his good qualities, but these thoughts mean nothing. After dinner at a restaurant, Duke drove Natalie back to her house, and as she stepped out of his car, she suddenly tripped, but he caught her just in time. Natalie's world stopped when she realized how close their faces were, and her heart was racing. She snapped out of it and immediately pulled away. Sorry about that. I can be clumsy sometimes. Only sometimes. Excuse me? I said you're cute. You just realized that now? Duke just chuckled at her and started walking to his car. See you around, babe. Natalie suddenly forgot how to speak. Just then, Caleb suddenly appeared from the shadows.
Damn.
What's that, Nat? Jeez, you startled me. What was what? I saw you and Duke. Did you forget this is just pretend? It is pretend. That didn't look fake to me. That is the point. I am paid to make it believable, remember? Natalie walked close to Caleb and took his hand. Come on, Caleb. You know how I feel about you. I love you. And how do you feel about him? Like I want to push his privileged butt on cow dung. The two of them laughed, but Natalie was still worried because Caleb kept glancing at her a bit suspiciously.
Damn.
Later that day, Caleb went to talk to his stepdad. Something bothering you, son? I'm scared, Dad. Nat says she hates Duke, but I can tell she likes him enough to be able to be close to him, even when there's no one around. Well, they are pretending to like each other enough to be convincing. It's just an act. I know, but still, it's Nat, and this is hard for me.
Wow, I feel sorry for you, Caleb. I feel sorry for him.
Spend less and smile more this season with the Amazon app.
I'm not skipping.
I know, but still, it's Nat, and this is hard for me. Hey, none of that. Their pretend relationship is not forever. Focus on the end goal. A week later, Duke invited Natalie over for dinner with his family. As they stood in front of the door, he noticed how nervous she was, so he reached for her shaking hand and smiled. She felt a lot better instantly, and they walked in. Harper and his parents were all waiting for her in the living room, and they all looked so sophisticated and intimidating, especially Mrs. Harrison. It's a pleasure to finally meet you, darling. You're even more beautiful than the way Duke described you. I heard your mom sells root crops in the market, and used to work for one of our ranches. Yes, sir. Oh, gosh. I feel sorry for us the way we have such a low-class guest. Harper, behave yourself, please. Whatever. As they had their dinner, Mrs. Harrison kept asking about their love story and relationship, and their answers thankfully matched. The Harrisons were surprisingly nice, except for Harper, who kept throwing death glares at her. After their dinner, Mrs. Harrison walked up to Natalie and took her into the kitchen. I want to give you something, my dear. Sure, ma'am. When they got there, Natalie was surprised to see a knife and a lot of onions on the counter. And then suddenly, Mrs. Harrison started chopping them herself right in front of her. They say onions can give overflowing wealth and beauty. This is my gift for you, my future daughter-in-law. Please take it. Natalie started tearing up as she took the chopped onions from her. Are you crying? You look so pretty with those tears in your eyes. No, it's just because of the onions. It's okay to be emotional, darling. Let it all out. Natalie was now freaked out at Mrs. Harrison's creepy behavior.
Oh, yeah.
She excused herself and headed back to the living room where Duke and his dad were talking. She told him that she had to go, and Duke volunteered to walk her home. Mrs. Harrison and Harper watched them from the balcony. I don't know if you remember, but I think she's that little girl who ruined your birthday, Mom. I remember her, and that just gives me another reason to get rid of her. Did you manage to scare her away? Oh, darling, why do you think she left so early? And I just started. The next day, Natalie went to the bleachers expecting to find Duke there, but she didn't. He had asked her to come meet her there so they could discuss the next course of action after meeting his family. She went looking for him when she heard familiar voices behind one of the school buildings. She silently walked closer and peeked around the corner. It was Duke and Caleb talking. Do we have a problem? You're getting too close with Natalie. Well, she is my girlfriend. Fake girlfriend. Remember the part where it's not real? What's your problem anyway? You told me she's just a friend. Are you interested in her? Not at all. But I still care about her and don't want her getting involved with someone like you. Okay, in that case, you can stop acting like her worried dad. I'm not interested in getting involved with her. Good, because that's not part of the plan. Neither is you cornering me and telling me unnecessary things, dude. It wasn't easy staging the whole statue thing and making sure Nat was there at the right time to take the blame for it. You owe me for that, don't you forget it. I'll pay you the exact amount after this, as promised. But I didn't ask for your opinion on how I'll be handling my plan from there. So buzz off with the attitude. Duke stormed off, and so did Caleb, while Natalie stood there reeling in shock. What? They set me up? Caleb helped me set up some deal with Duke?
Wow. So let's do... Wait. Oh, this is part 3.
Someone tried to steal your butterfinger.
I'm going...
Duke stormed off, and so did Caleb, while Natalie stood there reeling in shock. What? They set me up? Caleb helped me set up some deal with Duke? Natalie felt sick to her stomach, and she had to confront Caleb ASAP. Later that night, as she was marching up to his door, something caught her attention from the window. It was Caleb's mom, and she was cleaning the house, not looking sick at all. Natalie knocked angrily, and Caleb looked surprised to see her. Nat, I didn't know you were coming. Is everything okay? Can we talk in private? Oh, of course. He walked out of the house with her to her favorite spot, and then she turned to him and pushed him angrily. So, you're the one who told Duke about me when he needed a fake girlfriend? You're also the one who made sure I couldn't say no? You ruined that statue and framed me. How could you do this to me? Nat. And then you acted like you didn't want me taking this job and made me feel guilty? Oh, the caring, possessive boyfriend. But it was your idea all along? You should get an Oscar for your performance. Please, listen. I can explain. You made a complete fool out of me. And you even told Duke I'm just a friend? Caleb, you're such a big jerk. He wouldn't have agreed to have you as a fake girlfriend if he knew we were together. Wow, that's your justification? You just used me like a stupid toy to get money out of him. And not for your sick mom because she seems to be just fine now. Who are you, man? I don't even know you. And it looks like I never did. Nat, it's not like that. Shut up. We're done. Do you hear me? We are done. Natalie didn't wait for his response before storming off. Caleb couldn't stop feeling devastated and broke down to his stepdad. Natalie broke up with me, Dad. Forget about her then. When you have the money, you can marry any girl you want. You're too brilliant for her anyway. Try to target someone rich. Marrying into wealth will give you a lifetime of security. Caleb was stunned at his stepdad's words. He did want to be rich and have a much easier life, but he couldn't forget Natalie just like that. Dad, Nat means a lot to me. I wanted the money, but I never meant to lose her in the process. And why would some rich girl want me, a poor farm boy? I have a plan, and if this succeeds, we're gonna live in the city like royalty. But I need to make sure I can trust you not to mess things up by getting emotional. Of course you can trust me, Dad. Mr. Cross smirked as he revealed his long-time plan of stealing some diamonds and money from the Harrisons. But that's a really big crime. What if we get caught? I've been working for them long enough to know every corner of the mansion. I know when to make the move and how to get away scot-free. Besides, it's not really stealing. Think of this as payment for taking advantage of the poor and treating us like dirt. This is about justice, kid, and your future. Mr. Cross eventually convinced the ambitious Caleb, but he still wasn't ready to let Natalie go. He would try to make her forgive him and win her back. Meanwhile, Natalie almost went to Duke to confront him too and end the contract immediately, but she stopped herself. No, she would play along and get the money he owed her. But it feels disgusting to still play along as his girlfriend. Duke couldn't stop thinking about Natalie. He'd lied to Caleb when he said he didn't want to be involved with her, because the truth was, he wanted to be close to her all the time. The next day, he was attending a huge charity event where he was a big donor and he invited her, but he couldn't help noticing that she wasn't really herself. Her smile seemed fake and she barely said a word. When he took her hand, she almost cringed and pulled it away. When they sat down for dinner, she suddenly spoke. Oh wow, are you kidding me? We're eating dinner costing $1,500 per person while raising money for some poor, hungry kids? So ironic. And you rich people are just so shallow and unbelievable. Natalie, what are you doing? Are you saying the food is overpriced? It's just $1,500, sweetheart. Just $1,500? I wish I was deaf right now because that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Can you please do us all a favor and buy your girlfriend some class? The world would be a better place if you could all buy yourselves some good hearts. Duke was speechless, but just then he was suddenly called on stage to give a speech. It has been an honor to be part of this event, and I would like to... As Duke met Natalie's glare from across the room, his mind just went blank. While he was embarrassing himself, Natalie went to the bathroom to calm herself down. Just then, she heard familiar voices, Mrs. Harrison and Harper. Mom, I'm really worried about that farm girl. It doesn't seem like a fling to me. I think he's really in love with her, and he wouldn't have invited her here otherwise, and he didn't even do anything after all that stuff she said. Your brother is such a pain, and I'm really running out of time. Sheila and her family are really pressuring me. I have to get rid of that stupid girl or else. I'll think of something that will ruin her big time. I don't want to just ruin her. I want her to disappear. She only has that poor single mother as family, right? Right. Oh yeah, we could definitely use her. Mom, you're brilliant. They then laughed like maniacs as they walked out. Okay, that's it. Enough of this madness. I can't have them hurting Mom. I have to end things with Duke, now. Natalie ran out of the event, looking around for a cab, but Duke found her before she could escape. You're leaving? Why were you so angry?
Stay signed in for next time. It's the ease and delight of shopping on Amazon, but even better.
So angry in there. I thought we were friends now, and you wouldn't embarrass me.
Friends? You really think we're friends, Duke?
Yeah, I've started to. I care about you, Natalie. And there's something I've been wanting to tell you for a while, but I haven't had the guts to.
What?
I know this will make you even angrier, and...
Just say it!
A month ago, our gardener introduced me to his son Caleb, and we became friends. I told him about Mom pressuring me to date this crazy girl and how I'd lied about already having a girlfriend. I asked Caleb if he knew a girl who could pretend to play the part for a while. I didn't want anyone from school. And then he recommended his friend, and that's you. And he told me you'd never agree because you hate my family, so he planned to set you up, and I agreed to it. We got you in trouble just so you'd be indebted to me and would be forced to play the part. I feel terrible about doing that to you, and I'm really sorry. I would understand if you're not able to forgive me.
Natalie was stunned. She wasn't expecting Duke to confess. I already know everything. I heard you and Caleb talking about this at the back of the school the other day.
You did? Why didn't you say anything?
I thought, I'll play along since I can't repay you, but I don't care now. What are you gonna do? Send me to jail?
Of course not. You didn't do anything wrong in the first place. We framed you for that statue.
Exactly. I just want to stay far, far away from your family and you. Natalie got into a cab before he could say anything more. It kind of broke her heart that this was how things had ended between them, but she had to walk away while she could still control her feelings. The next few days, Natalie skipped school. She couldn't bear to see Duke and tried getting her mind off things with farm work. Hey, Mom, can I help with anything?
It's fine, honey, I got this. I don't know why you're missing school.
Mom, I just need a break, okay? And I would really like to help.
All right. get some grains from the back and feed the chickens. Just as Natalie returned with her grains, she saw her mom sidestep one of the geese, lose her balance, and hit her head on a rock. Mom! Her mom was rushed to the hospital and needed surgery, but Natalie simply couldn't afford the amount. She felt desperate and helpless, and then thought of the one person who could help her, Duke. I'm such an idiot. Why did I end things with him for free? He made me compromise my values and self-respect. I should get back with him to make him pay the price of my dignity, then dump him again. Ugh, why did I even love this jerk? Back at the Harrisons' mansion, Duke had been missing Natalie, and his heart leapt when she suddenly gave him a call. I'm sorry for the way things went down between us the other day. I was just really hurt because you lied to me. Can we meet tonight at the cafe? I'll be there at 7. But when he got there, he found Natalie panicking. Duke, I have to go to the hospital right away. Mom had an accident. He immediately drove her to the hospital, and it broke his heart seeing Natalie cry. Later that day, he heard her talking to the doctor about the price for the surgery. I'll pay for it. Duke, no, you don't have to. Just think of it as a payment for all those days you worked for me. He kept insisting, and Natalie pretended to refuse, but eventually agreed. I don't know how to thank you. Don't think about it. Let's just hope you're— Really hope so too. Wanting to comfort her, Duke pulled her into a hug, and Natalie just found herself hugging him back. As she lifted her face, their eyes met and her heartbeat became wild. You're so beautiful. When Natalie realized what was happening, she immediately excused herself to the bathroom. Focus, Natalie. He's a jerk and his family is crazy. Don't get carried away. Meanwhile, Harper and Mrs. Harrison decided that dinner would be the perfect time to break Duke. So, how's Natalie, darling? Maybe you should invite her to have dinner with us again. She's busy taking care of her mom, who's in the hospital. Oh, really? We didn't even do anything to her mom yet. What? Duke,
What?
Are you sure that's why your girlfriend can't come over? Yes, Mom, I'm sure. Or is it because she's your fake girlfriend and you've been feeding me a bunch of lies? What? What are you talking about? Just then, Harper started playing Duke and Natalie's conversation on her phone, where Duke confessed that he needed a fake girlfriend because of his mom.
Wow.
So disappointed in you, Duke. You lied to me. You will end this stupid charade now. Mom, just stop it. Stop it with all this pressure. Yes, I lied to you, but you pushed me to do it. And Natalie may have been my fake girlfriend, but I love her now. Nonsense. Get rid of that gold digger and date Sheila instead. Or you can forget about being my son and all these privileges you were born with. That midnight, Caleb and his stepdad were successful in opening the Harrison safe. These are— Wow, Dad, we're gonna be rich. I told you, son. Now, let's put everything into these bags. Hurry. The father and son were almost done getting everything in the vault when the door suddenly burst open and the Harrison security team barged in with policemen. The next day, the news was all over town that Mr. Cross and Caleb had been arrested for—
Wow. I think I got arrested.
The next day, the news was all over town that Mr. Cross and Caleb had been arrested for theft at the Harrison mansion. Natalie could hardly believe her ears. She didn't love Caleb anymore, but he'd been her friend since they were kids, and she had to see him. Nat, thank God you're here. You gotta help us. Please, ask Duke to make his family forgive us. Caleb, why did you do it? When did you become this person? How can you not understand, Nat? We've always hated those rich people. They've worked our parents to the bone and always mistreated us. Are we less smart than any of them? Or less deserving of a good life? No, you deserve a good life, but you can't have it by robbing rich people. You have to earn it, Caleb. I could work for 50 years and never get to where they are. I swear, I didn't want this just for me. I wanted it for my family and for you. I still love you, Nat, and I was gonna convince you to move away to the big city with me once I was rich. How could you think this is what I'd want? You could never even cheat in tests when we were kids. And I don't love you anymore, Caleb. But you're my best friend, my only friend. You have to help me. Please, call Duke. I can't do that. You committed a crime and you'll have to pay for it. And not once have I heard you say that you're actually sorry you did it. Please, Nat, Who's gonna look after my mom? This'll break her heart. I'm begging you. Natalie softened and she tried to call Duke, but he wasn't picking up. She promised Caleb that she'd try to do what she could, but hours passed and there was no response from Duke. She then decided to call the last person she wanted to talk to.
Harper.
Hello, Harper? Farm girl? To what do I owe this displeasure?
Your brother isn't answering my calls and messages. Is he okay?
You tell me. Mom kicked him out of the house last night and basically disowned him, all because he said he was in love with you and wouldn't date anyone else. Dad tried to stop him, but he wouldn't stay.
He what? Harper, where did he go?
Why should I tell you?
Harper, please, tell me he has somewhere to go. And he would still have some savings of his own, right?
It turns out he doesn't have any.
Wow.
$1,000 or so we thought, but now he's penniless. He wouldn't tell me where he spent that money, but I can easily guess it was on you, you gold digger.
She was actually right. Mom's surgery had cost $100,000,
Jeez.
and it looked like Duke had given all his savings to me. She tried to call Harper again, who blocked her number, so she had no choice but to go to the mansion. How dare you come here, you filthy, lying peasant! I just wanted to ask where Duke went because I'm worried.
Drop the act, girl. We all know how fake everything was. My brother was so stupid for actually falling in love with you.
Yes, it was fake at first, but I've fallen in love with him too, for real. Please, you have to find out where he went. Suddenly, someone started bawling from the door. It was Sheila with her parents. Mrs. Harrison wasn't expecting their visit, and the blood drained from her face.
Who's this girl? Where is my Duke? He's mine. He's only mine. Give him back to me. We are destined to be with each other.
Sheila started screaming and breaking everything she saw, and her mom rushed to calm her down. Meanwhile, her dad was furious. Our poor daughter. I thought Duke was single. What is the meaning of this? This is all a misunderstanding. This farm girl is crazy and... No, we've heard everything. Your son is in love with that girl and you lied to us. What is going on here? Your wife promised she'd repay us for keeping her horrible secret. This is the payment we want. Duke for our daughter. Liars! Liars! Then suddenly, Sheila's dad took some pictures from his suitcase and showed them to Mr. Harrison. Here is everything you need to see. Your wife is a terrible woman. We shouldn't have trusted her. And now our princess is emotionally destroyed. This is unforgivable. Mr. Harrison was speechless. His wife was apparently having an affair with a wealthy politician. My wife discovered all of this because she's the politician's secretary. He has been giving your wife huge sums of money and expensive gifts for years. Mr. Harrison looked stunned, and then he lost it. I've done nothing but love you, given in to every stupid tantrum, giving you everything you wanted, but it wasn't good enough for you, and now you've made our son miserable too, just to cover your own dirty secrets. Get out of my house, now! No, you can't do this to me, honey. I'll leave him for you. But Mr. Harrison ignored her and ordered their security to drag her outside.
Dad, what are you doing to Mom? Can't you just forgive her?
If you want to stay in this house, you will listen to me and stop being such a spoiled brat. Otherwise, you can leave with your mother. Is that understood, Harper?
Yes, Dad.
Mr. Harrison then called the police to help him find his son. Natalie then remembered about this secret place Duke once took her to. She went there alone and found him. Natalie, what are you doing here? She told him everything that happened, and Duke couldn't believe how terrible his mom actually was. It's time for you to come home. Your dad is really worried about you. And you? Were you worried? Why do you think I'm here? And how could you be foolish enough to give me all your savings? It was for your mom, Natalie. It's foolish not to take care of the people you love, and I love you. I love you too, Duke. I never thought I could, and I really didn't want to, trust me. But you've made me fall in love with you. I can't help it. Okay, so in that case, you need to sign another contract with me. Depends.
What kind of contract is that?
A contract to be my baby queen forever.
Oh my God, please don't ever call me that again.
I'll think about it.
They fell in love now. And that's the end. Wow, that series was so perfect. Oh wow, I should give you a shout out for this. Or something. That is so well. That is so well. That was so well edited though. That was so well, they really did. That's very awesome. That's very awesome though. That's very awesome. I should give them a shout out. They should subscribe me though. They should have did that. That's very awesome though. That is the greatest that's the greatest video I ever watched. That was the greatest video. But I'm not going to edit it because it's gonna be the longest. Sorry, this is the longest video for the part 1, 2, and 3. 3 was the longest, so I'm not going to edit the video though because it was long. So I'm going to put some chapters in there anyway. So join the Keep A Squad. Love you. Bye bye.